This is Unit 15, Anatomy and Physiology. So the nervous system is your brain, your spinal cord, and your peripheral nerves. So your peripheral nerves means on your side. So this is nerves that are associated with your arms and your legs. It recognizes and coordinates the body's response to internal and external environments. So this is not just from your five senses. This is also internal responses. So when you have a stomach ache or you feel you have heartburn, this is actually the nervous system that is being triggered. So the skeletal system is your bones, your cartilage, your ligaments, and your tendons. So the way you can remember tendons versus ligaments, tendons are tender. So your muscles are very tender. So your muscles are actually attached to bones, and your ligaments are just bones attaching to bones. So the function of the skeletal system is to support the body, protect the internal organs such as your heart and your lungs, and it also allows movement. It stores mineral reserves such as vitamin D and calcium, and also provides a site for blood cell formation. So your muscular system there's three different kinds. There's smooth muscle, skeletal muscle, and your cardiac. So your cardiac is actually just your muscles that are associated with your heart. Your smooth muscles are those that are just associated with your hollow organs, such as your stomach or your esophagus. And your skeletal muscles are everything that's attached to your skeletal system. So this allows voluntary movement if we're talking about the skeletal system movement. This also helps circulate your blood, and it moves those using the smooth muscles to move food through your digestive tract. So the integumentary system is your skin, your hair, your nails, and both types of glands. These are oil and sweat glands. So this basically serves as a barrier from injury as well as infection. So it's your first line of defense for your immune system. It also helps regulate your body temperature. It protects your body also from the UV rays associated with the sun. The circulatory system is your heart, your blood, and your blood vessels. So if you look at this picture down here, you'll notice that there's red and there's blue. So the blue is actually your veins and the red is your arteries. Your red arteries go away from the heart. So this is blood that has been oxygenated, or it's received oxygen. Your blue veins are actually deoxygenated, which means that they do not have oxygen any longer, and they need to go to the heart to actually gain more oxygen to be circulated through the rest of the body. It also removes waste products, and it also helps regulate that body temperature as well. Your respiratory system is your nose, your pharynx, your larynx, your trachea, your bronchi, bronchioles, and your lungs. So your nose actually has hair or cilia that's associated with it that also protects. So it's actually wise to actually breathe through your nose and not your mouth, because all of the germs and the different bacteria that are associated with our atmosphere, if you breathe it through your mouth, unfortunately you have no protection. But if you breathe it through your nose, you do have that cilia that's going to protect you and kind of capture those germs and that bacteria, and eventually it's going to be wrapped in mucus, and that mucus is going to be eliminated from your body. So your pharynx is kind of the back of the nose or back of the throat, and this is where your mouth and your nose are connected. So your larynx is right below that, and that's actually your voice box. So this helps you with speaking, with your pitch, with your tone. Your trachea is another name for a windpipe. So if you look at your neck and you actually touch the front of your neck, it's pretty hard, okay? It's pretty stiff. And that's actually made out of cartilage. So below that, the first two branches are your bronchi. So you have a left side and a right side. It branches off even smaller into bronchioles, and eventually they enter into the alveoles, which kind of look like grapes. And those are the actual lung cells themselves that help exchange oxygen for CO2. Your digestive tract is your mouth, your pharynx, your esophagus, your stomach, large and small intestines, as well as your rectum. So your food goes in your mouth first. There's that pharynx word again. The pharynx is the back of the throat, where it also your respiratory system uses. Your esophagus is directly behind your trachea, so you can't really feel it when you're looking at your neck. And your stomach is actually towards the left side of you, left side next, closest to the left rib, or left side of the rib cage, I should say. The small and large intestines is basically everything below your rib cage. And then your rectum is what actually eliminates any waste product that you cannot use from your food that you actually did consume, and basically you broke down into smaller molecules such as glucose in order for cellular respiration to occur. Your excretory system is your skin, your lungs, your kidneys, your ureters, your bladder, as well as your urethra. So men and women both have ureters, they both have bladders, and they both have urethras. But the men actually have longer urethras than the females do. So unfortunately, females actually have a higher chance of getting a urinary tract infection because of the urethra. So the kidneys are on either side of your spine, and they're towards the middle of your back. And basically what these guys are used for is for filtration. So it filters your blood, so anything that is inserted from your blood, which is through your food, from the nutrients that you get during your digestive tract, it has to go through the kidneys to actually be cleaned. So the kidneys are there to filter any waste that the body just can't use. And so when it needs to be eliminated, it goes down the ureters, as you can see in the diagram. It's stored in your bladder, and then it eventually leaves the body through your urethra. So the lungs actually excrete what product? CO2 and water. What does your skin excrete? Well, sweat when you're really, really hot. And it actually is there to evaporate, to actually cool your cells to maintain that homeostasis. Your endocrine system is all of your hormones. So this is your hypothalamus, your pituitary, your thyroid, parathyroid. Your thyroid and your parathyroid are more towards in your neck, and your pituitary and your hypothalamus is actually associated with your brain. Your adrenal glands are actually on top of your kidneys. And your pancreas is actually right underneath your stomach, which is towards the left side. So as far as female and males, you have your ovaries that are associated with females and your testes, which are associated with males. So your endocrine system, again, it's your hormones, so it helps basically control everything. Control growth, control development, metabolism, and also that important key term, it maintains homeostasis. So your reproductive system, men have your testes, your epididymis, your vas deeters, your urethra, as well as the penis. The females, on the other hand, they have ovaries, fallopian tubes, the vagina, as well as your uterus. And for females, we actually do two functions. So we not only produce our reproductive cells, which are eggs, but we also are there to nourish and protect the developing embryo. And eventually, when the embryo is born, we have a child. Well, with males, they only produce reproductive cell, which is the sperm. The immune system is our last system that we're going to talk about. And it has white blood cells, your thymus, your spleen, your lymph nodes, and your lymph vessels. So the lymph vessels are very similar to the blood vessels, but it actually collects fluid that is lost from the blood vessels, and it returns it back to the circulatory system. So it's kind of like a recycling system, if you will. The spleen is actually up towards the left side of your body, so it's kind of underneath the stomach, underneath the pancreas, and the spleen's towards your back. And basically what the spleen does is it helps create white blood cells, and it also eliminates some of that trash product or some of that waste product. So it removes some dead or dying blood cells, not only white blood cells but also red blood cells. And so the main function for your immune system is to actually protect yourself from diseases and basically get rid of anything that is in your body that doesn't need to be associated with your body.